really quickly, this has been a long and complicated process. I was just at Jesse Aragine's fundraiser in Oakland, and he's the author, or one of the authors, I believe, of SB 63, which was important to this all. So the legislature had to make legislation to allow this to happen. Now we want to get it on the ballot as a citizens initiative, which means we need to collect signatures for it, and then we actually need to vote on it in November. So those are three big steps, and there's been a number of steps in between that have happened. This thing has been a long time coming, and it's complicated. So I'll try to break it down and blow past some of the more marketing material.
And Nick, can you explain what's your connection to this? Like why you're giving this presentation, for example?
Sure, yeah. So I connected to this early on, tried to get involved in the process. There's the people who are behind getting the signatures is an organization called Connect Bay Area. That is the committee for the ballot measure. They're called Connect Bay Area. There's an organization called the Transit Bay Coalition, which is a coalition of a number of nonprofits, transportation related, who also are kind of connected into this effort. Transit Bay Coalition consists of people like Seamless Bay Area and others. I think you'll see a slide on that. But so I kind of stayed involved. I'm one of the grassroots people who has been collecting signatures and trying to spread the word about it. That's kind of my involvement in the campaign. And there's a lot of us, fortunately, who are spreading the word and collecting signatures. So this is a measure for 5 different counties: Alameda, Contra Costa, Santa Clara, San Francisco, and San Mateo. Only those counties. And this is one reason why legislation had to be created to do a multi-county ballot measure. Okay, Transit Bay Coalition, let's see. Okay, yeah, it doesn't explain who they are, but they're a coalition of a bunch of nonprofits, but really Connect Bay Area are the people who are behind this effort of getting signatures to get it on the ballot. So here's a bunch of marketing material about how many people actually care about and take transit and depend on transit. It's quite a few, 150,000 every day, board AC Transit of BART, million transit trips in the Bay every day, 50% for work. 63% of Alameda County residents report riding transit. Without BART, Bay Bridge traffic would surge, which I'm sure you can agree with. A lot of people, by the way, I'm a BART employee. I'm a train operator, and I can tell you that BART still does take a lot of people into San Francisco for the commute. That's still a big function of BART. So all those people would have to find another way to get there. Transit riders are diverse. There are a lot of working class people. There's a lot of people who depend on transit. They don't have a car. That's their only mode. So they got to get there somehow on transit. Transit saves people money because they don't have to invest in their cars. Car ownership is very expensive. In transit, even though it seems like BART fares are really high compared to owning a car, which means taxes and insurance and maintenance and all the costs. Car ownership is very expensive. A lot of people are not able to afford their own cars anymore. Most AC Transit riders don't have access to a car. You take public transit, you reduce car congestion. So here's a really important slide. So the pandemic took away a lot of riders. A lot of people realized they didn't have to commute to work. They could work from home. So for some of these agencies, they took a lot of commuters where they needed to go, and they don't need to take those commuters anymore. BART is a big one. There's a big shuttle service for taking commuters to San Francisco and elsewhere. But also the other agencies, other big agencies here, are down in revenue because they're down in ridership. They're down in fare box recovery. They're not getting people riding, so they're not collecting those fees. So after the federal government, after the federal dollars go away, here's the sort of budget deficits we're looking at for these agencies. And Muni in San Francisco not only is part of this ballot measure, but they've got their own San Francisco specific ballot measure as well, just to fund Muni. So they are really desperately looking for funds. If the money doesn't come through for this ballot measure, and this ballot measure is the only game in town now, there's nothing else that's going to produce this money except for this ballot measure. We're looking for really severe cuts. I'll point to BART because that's significant for a lot of people, and a lot of people can picture what that means. Right now, BART runs trains with a 10-minute service in a lot of lines during the day, and 20-minute service in the worst case. BART's talking about having to go back to once an hour, stopping service at 9 p.m., not going to midnight and 1 a.m., and eliminating all weekend service. Just as someone who rides BART a lot, I can't even imagine it. And other severe cuts will happen to the other transit agencies if we don't get this money. And BART will have to shut down a bunch of stations, and no one's happy about that. All the BART directors are going to fight to keep their stations in their geographies, in their districts. And yeah, another, traffic's going to get even worse than the nightmare it is now. AC Transit, fewer routes, fewer stops. AC Transit service has already been cut over the years. There's some service in Contra Costa County just once an hour, like the 7 bus. Traffic will surge. And here's the only solution. So it's a 14-year, it's time-limited ballot measure. Includes the 5 Bay Area counties, because these are the ones who agreed to be a part of it. It is a sales tax. It's going to be 1% or 1 cent sales tax in San Francisco because they have 2 different measures. Half cents elsewhere. Sales tax, not great, but we'll get to that in a minute. The agencies are on the hook for making sure they provide good service, and there's language in the measure to hold them to that. And here's details about the money. There, as I was pointing out, accountability, there will be an independent oversight committee. The transit agencies have to keep up good service. There's a bunch of oversights, and there's something written into the ballot measure or into the enabling legislation that the oversight committees can claw back money from agencies who are not keeping up with good service. All right, so these are all big organizations that are involved in supporting this Connect Bay Area effort. Transform, I might have mentioned earlier, there's the Trans-Bay Coalition, Seamless Bay Area, labor, a lot of labor is behind this, especially the transportation labor unions. And this is a slideshow from the fall, so there's a lot more elected officials who are supportive of this, not just the Oakland mayor and Berkeley mayor and 1 Berkeley council member, I think, and then maybe the Albany people who are here can speak to Albany's support and the council members' support. So we're in the midst of collecting signatures. A lot of people are out on the street collecting signatures. We've got both paid signatures gatherers and volunteers, because showing that there's a volunteer efforts shows the grassroots support for this initiative. And the volunteers, I can tell you, I believe it's been announced, they've already collected 50,000 signatures, just the volunteers alone, and that's a figure from the middle of last month. So May is the final month where we'll be collecting signatures. They don't give out the numbers, the total numbers, because they want us to keep fighting and keep collecting as many signatures as we need. But we need something like 192,000 officially. We want to get at least 200,000 and hopefully 250,000. And one reason why we're collecting signatures to get on the ballot is because then it only needs 50% to pass instead of 2/3. And the polling shows that that it won't pass with 2/3, that we need the 50% threshold in order for it to pass. These are old events. Connect Bay Area is where you want to go for all the information, connectbayarea.com. And if you want to get involved in signature gathering, you can find out how to do that there too. So hopefully I didn't talk too much, and we can use the questions to figure out what I left out and what people need to delve into.
Thank you, Nick. Anyone have any questions about the measure? Your presentation was so good, it's left everyone speechless.
Okay, I've got one. Sales taxes are considered regressive because the poorest people pay the same as everybody else. So, what is there anything done to offset that for the poorest among us?
Well, I would love Preston to speak to this a little bit, because he did an analysis, I think, of sales taxes at one point, revealing them not to be as regressive maybe as we think they are. But a lot of people were, another part of this process that I didn't talk about is that people were lobbying before the initial legislation was passed for this to be a gross receipts tax on businesses, to be a business tax and not a sales tax. And the business community said, whoa, we can't support that. We'll fight it if you do that. And it probably won't pass if we fight it. But if you go sales tax, we'll give you money to fund the campaign. So this business has kind of strong-armed the advocates, and that's why it's a sales tax. And I don't know that there's anything being done to mitigate the effect of a sales tax. It's not like a tax, a property tax, where you can have exemptions for seniors. You pretty much everyone who buys something with a sales tax is going to have to pay that sales tax. So unfortunately. Yeah, and it's a bummer. It's not what we want. It's not yet another sales tax, but it's also an effect of Prop 13 that cities and counties, municipalities, and school districts all have to scramble with weird ways to come up with money, because Prop 13 took away a ton of funding for government.
Dan,
one other
do you have a question?
Yeah, I mean, I guess to that question, I would say it benefits low-income folks because it provides public transit as a service that would not exist. So they don't have to buy a car. It reduces other expenses. Like, there are benefits for low-income folks, even though they will pay a greater portion of their income on sales tax. But my question is, I haven't signed this thing yet. Usually in a rush when there's like someone with a clipboard in front of Trader Joe's, I'm not usually slowing down. Doesn't look like you can sign it online. You have to do a wet signature. Is that correct? Okay. I just want to so I just do need to like slow down when I'm at Trader Joe's sometime or wherever. Or is there is there any way to do this other than to like seek someone out who's soliciting signatures at BART or at the store?
Yeah, no, that's a good way. But I also always have packets with me. So I might just go ahead and knock on your door, or feel free to knock on my door, and hopefully we'll get this done sometime before May is out.
All right.
One other quick question is there an update on endorsements from local electeds?
Oh yeah, good question.
Preston said he had to duck out. Peggy, do you know?
I've signed it. I guess I'm in the dark now. I did sign it because Mick rode up to me on the waterfront on his bicycle. Wasn't that where I signed it? I think so. And
It could have been, or yeah.
when I
Oh,
think
that's right. Yeah.
when it's on the ballot, I'll bring something to council to endorse it.
Okay.
Okay. So you're not an
Yeah.
early someone on their list, but if it makes it on the ballot, that's your intention, is to do that.
That's my intention. And I mean, I have signed it. Are you looking for endorsements at this point?
Well, so
we can talk
there
about
are
it?
organizations and folks and electeds who are endorsing the signature gathering initiative. So yeah, you can endorse at this level to say we support getting this on the ballot. That's definitely worthwhile, and your endorsement when it's on the ballot is also very much appreciated.
Okay, maybe we could talk about how to go about doing that.